This is exactly the spark the Eagles needed, as the Eagles just dominated a team in the Las Vegas Raiders, where their defense and offense both contributed at huge levels. And this is what we've been waiting for from this Eagles team, and we're here to break it all down here on a post-game edition of Eagles Digest. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks alongside Jack Kieley to bring you finally a post-game victory episode of Eagles Digest as the Eagles completely dominated the Las Vegas Raiders 31 to nothing to improve to 9-5 and stop the bleeding and stop all the noise coming in Philadelphia. But before we get into this video, we're currently at 1,153 subscribers on this channel. So if you are tuning into this video and you haven't subscribed, you guys better hit that subscribe button, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts from this big game against the Las Vegas Raiders, to really a get-back game that the Eagles really needed in this last couple of stretches where the Eagles lost 3 straight. Just let us know in the comments. But getting right into this matchup, as we talk about the 31 to nothing victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Jack, this was obviously looking at this schedule, this was definitely something where it could be a possible trap game, but the Eagles were not letting that happen, really being dominant from both offense and defense and special teams. Just an all-around really good game for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Alex. I think at base level, this was just a huge morale win for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. This is something to get them motivated and really just boost their ego after these past 3 weeks have just been an absolute disaster. So it's really nice to see that pretty much every facet of the game was clicking on all levels. The defense looked amazing. The offense looked amazing. Everybody looked happy, which was great to see. I know the past 3 weeks, the team just kind of looked really out of sync. It looked like their chemistry was in jeopardy. All the players just looked like they weren't even in the games that they were playing. So really great to see that they came into Las Vegas and made sure that they were going to, kick the butts and do what they needed to do.
Yeah, they really did. They did it on all sides of the ball, offense and defense, really dominating at every facet. When we look at this box score for the Philadelphia Eagles and Las Vegas Raiders, this is staggering from an Eagles offense who has been struggling mightily these past, I would say, 2.5 games outside of the Dallas first half. When you're looking at Jalen Hurts, 175 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, no turnovers after turning the ball over a career high 5 times against the Los Angeles Chargers, goes up against the Raiders, who aren't a really good team, but still has no turnovers. So there's no excuse to talk about with Jalen Hurts, a really get right game for him. Saquon Barkley obviously having 78 yards and a touchdown, had 3.5 a carry, which is better than his average so far this season. And then Dallas Goedert's been a really good asset for the Eagles, especially in the red zone. I think Kevin Patullo had a really underrated game today, and he had a really good game plan when he looked at this Raiders team, really just diagnosing this matchup against the Raiders. And when you look at Dallas Goedert, he is a true red zone threat. He's in a contract year, so he's really building his money for the next contract. But Dallas Goedert definitely had a really big game and really helped the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dallas Goedert is having certainly one of the best years of his career so far, even in terms of yards after the catch. He has been arguably one of the best yak tight ends in the NFL so far this season. He's been so physical from when he's getting targeted, when he catches the ball. He's so good at breaking tackles, making sure to elude defenders. He has great elusive rating on PFF. He's one of the best tight ends after the catch in the NFL right now. And heading into this game, I know a lot of people were like, it's the Raiders. I mean, what are you going to do about that, right? Like,
Right.
they're the worst team in the NFL, arguably. I had someone comment on my last video where I said, I'm heading into this game a little nervous right now, guys, given how the Philadelphia Eagles have looked these past 3 weeks, especially after, I would say, one of not their worst game of the season, but Jalen Hurts' worst game of his career. He said, the comment said, it's the Raiders, man. Like, come on, I'm a Raiders fan, and I know that we're going to lose this game. So be a little more realistic right now at this point. So that was a little funny to see that comment. But I'll be honest, I really was a little nervous heading into this
Yep.
game. I know it's Las Vegas, but after what I saw these past 3 weeks from the Philadelphia Eagles, I really thought anything was possible, and that Kenny Pickett was somehow going to, I don't know, put up maybe 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, but still managed to squeeze out a win against the Philadelphia Eagles. But that didn't happen. Great game in all facets today, and great to see that they won today and that they're heading into the Washington Commanders with high morale.
Yeah, they really, like you said it all, Jack. I mean, when you're looking at, previewing this game, this was obviously something where I said it in the intro. This could possibly be a trap game for the Philadelphia Eagles because you looked at what happened in 2023. There was obviously the Arizona Cardinals at the end of the season where the Eagles really needed to win that game and then didn't. So, anything's really possible in the NFL. It's any given Sunday. It doesn't matter if you haven't looked good all season. You just have to look good that game. And the Eagles definitely did and really had a get right game and just kind of calming the noise right now. They're calming the noise and just really getting some more confidence going into this latter stretch of the season because you have the Commanders and sandwiched in between is the Buffalo Bills. So out of that matchup, you're looking really good at this point to try to clinch that division and just try to get to the playoffs and then see what happens because this conference has been this whole NFL is just unpredictable. The New England Patriots lost to the Buffalo Bills today where they needed to win that to win the division. So it's just really unpredictable at this point when you're looking at all of these matchups. And, when we look at in between the numbers for the Philadelphia Eagles and Las Vegas Raiders, when you look at total yards right now, everyone who's tuning in right now, looking at their screens, look at those total yards, 387 to 75. 387, over 300 yards more than the Las Vegas Raiders had in the total game. That is a creds to Vic Fangio and this Eagles defense, who we'll get more into in this episode, but just huge performances by this Eagles defense as well to really complement the offense. When we're looking at the turnovers, there was a really good interception by Zach Bond that kind of stopped the momentum from the Raiders getting into the Eagles Eagles side of the ball. And then when you look at the first downs, 27-7, completely dominating the first down category. The penalties were really good today. There was only a couple that were called, holding calls, everything like that. Even on the Raider side, they were pretty disciplined on the defensive side of the ball. So when we're kind of looking at these numbers, Jack, what stands out to you? If I can get my words right, I'm just so fired up right now.
Well, Alex, what gets me fired up about these numbers over here are the penalties, because the penalties have been brutal this year for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's been so many games where winnable games where the Philadelphia Eagles dropped it because of their lack of discipline, whether it's a holding call, whether it's illegal contact on the defensive side, whether it's Jalen Hurts holding on to the ball too long. There's actually a stat I saw last week where they're snapping the ball just before the game clock is running out. So just stuff like that, game management penalties, silly stuff that's really easy to clean up. So great to see that they had some, extra strict discipline here today, making sure that they're not making silly mistakes, making sure that they're taking care of the ball, and making sure that they're not turning the ball over. I'm sure that last week before this Raiders game, Nick Sirianni and all the coaches got together in the locker room and they were like, all right, guys, come on, like, let's come together here. Yeah. Let's erase these last 3 weeks and let's kick these guys' butts. Like, really, like we kind of need this right now heading into these next 3 games where the Commanders and the Bills were facing off against them. Again, not super sure about how that one of those Commanders games is going to go, because it's always a chippy game between them and the Eagles every season. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I know the Commanders don't really look great right now, but I'm really not counting them out for one of these games, and especially the Buffalo Bills. I know that is surely going to be a tough matchup, but I know it's going to be a fun one because we've had some really fun game watches against the Bills, so really looking forward to these matchups.
Yeah, and when you're looking at that Commanders matchup, I mean, obviously that's next week. That's in Washington, and Marcus Mariota, he won against the New York Giants, albeit it's the New York Giants, but able to really get some momentum in their hands going into this matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. So it really, right now, it's a good win against the Las Vegas Raiders, but how are they going to move that forward into this latter stretch of the season, especially against the Buffalo Bills in a couple weeks? That's going to be the real test if the Eagles are really for real going in this, or this was just a really good game against a really bad opponent. And, when we kind of look at three guys that I really want to highlight from this game: Jalen Hurts, Nakobe Dean, and Dallas Goedert. I'll start off with Jalen Hurts. I mean, this was a get-right game. We've said it from the jump. Jalen Hurts obviously having this performance, it doesn't wipe away his performance that he had against the Los Angeles Chargers. He definitely has had a really bad game on Monday Night Football, and that's where all the eyes were on. So Jalen Hurts definitely needs to just continue to be consistent with the passing game and his running game. He did a lot on, taking the ball, taking care of the ball, but also running it as well, adding that element. He did go down with a little bit of an injury. I'm not sure how much that is going to affect him moving forward. It didn't seem like it was a lot because he came in that next play and he threw a dime to AJ Brown to get his third touchdown. So not really too concerned at this moment, but it's going to be something that we're going to look at. But a really good game from Jalen Hurts taking care of the ball. Nakobe Dean, 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 5 solo tackles today. Nakobe Dean was a menace on defense. He is in a contract year as well as Dallas Goedert. So both of these guys are really just trying to build their resume up and build their contract up for their next big contract. And then obviously Dallas Goedert was a machine today. Should have had 3 touchdowns, dropped one in the red zone. That should have just been a 4th touchdown for Jalen Hurts, but he did end the day with 2 touchdowns for Dallas Goedert, 70 yards as well. So really good games by all 3 of these guys. So it's just something that you just got to keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Alex. It was nice to see that Jalen Hurts, didn't let the game last week on Monday Night Football really get to his head. He still looked just as comfortable as he always is, whether he's under pressure or whether he's not under pressure. Really great to see that he, didn't seem, he wasn't afraid to throw the ball at any point. I know he had, under 200 yards, and there's that famous stat that we went over where, every time he throws under 200 yards, they're winning more games, which, is still a mind-boggling stat to me right now to this day. I still don't understand how that works, but it seems to be working. Yeah, 7-0, exactly. I don't even know what's going on. Like,
or maybe 6-0, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe if he goes to the playoffs, you think he's gonna throw 190 yards every playoff game and somehow they're gonna win? I have no idea. But it's really is just a mind-boggling stat to talk about. But overall, yeah, it was just nice to see that Jalen didn't let that game get to his head. He looked comfortable. He was throwing through tight windows. He was throwing it through the air. He was making sure that the guys that were getting the ball needed to get the ball. And it was great to see that he, of course, didn't turn the ball over. Also, he used to have the best touchdown interception ratio. I'm not sure if he still has that at the moment. Probably something like Matthew Stafford has it. But overall, guys, just great to see that he looked comfortable with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, really comfortable from Jalen Hurts. Really comfortable to see that a game didn't raise our blood pressure at all. 31-0, not even a point scored for the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out Kevin Patullo. Shout out Vic Fangio. Shout out this Eagles offense and this Eagles defense were really dominating today. And you have this team on the schedule, and you're supposed to beat this team by a lot, and the Eagles showed up and they beat them by a lot. But that's going to do it for another edition of Eagles Digest. The Eagles, keep off every, sort of worry that's going on in Philadelphia. Obviously, Dallas plays tonight, so we'll be tuning into that. We're going to have more coverage throughout the week, breaking down this game and then also previewing the game against the Washington Commanders, as this is going to be big if the Eagles can start stacking these wins to have a good playoff spot going down the stretch. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Birds.